Good morning and welcome back. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. It is the Nation newspaper we're going to start with. And, of course, joining me this morning, we have Edgar. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so let's take a quick look at what's happening in the headlines this morning. We have the Nation newspaper, and today is Monday, December 2nd, 2024. Major headline here says minimum wage strike call sparks states labor row. Workers down tools in Kaduna, Ebonyi, Nasarawa, FCT. No strike in Oyo, Ekiti, Abia, Imo, others. And it also says here, right at the bottom, consumer rights violation, FCCPC to engage bank, telco, airline. And there is a photo story right here of the group chairman, United Bank for Africa, UBA, Mr. Tony Elumelu, and the French Minister of Finance, Antoine Armand, signing a landmark business cooperation agreement for the development of UBA's full banking operations, of course, accompanied by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and, of course, the President Emmanuel Macron right there in tow as well. So that's what we have on the cover of the Nation. Any headline spark your interest there?
I think the first one, the major one, the minimum wage strike call, sparks states labor role. Yeah, I think that's interesting because you have this going on for a while, and then different, people, states complaining about an increase. Some people want, that the NLC is threatening, to protest, and all that is happening. So it's quite alarming. It's quite alarming that at this point we haven't really sorted this issue on minimum wage.
So the back and forth online has been about whether the people speaking on behalf of labor are actually going to stand their ground or not. Every time you hear there's a strike coming up, the question is how long will it take for it to end, or who's going to say something that's going to end the conversation. But let's see what else we have here. We have the Daily Times newspaper with us as well. It says, why Nigeria is underdeveloped. Primate Ndukuba. It says, Nigeria instrumental in transforming our continent. Headline there beside the photo story, Tinubu for Ramaphosa to co-chair 11th Binational Commission. Story starts there on the cover and heads over to page 4. It also says here, rate of accidents on newly repaired Third Mainland Bridge worries federal government. Page 6 has more on that. Obasanjo tasks Plateau residents on unity and love. Tax reform bills. Atiku urges NAS to ensure transparency, objectivity in conducting public hearing. And SEC assures investors of fund safety amid fintech growth. Any story jump out there?
Yeah, the rate of accidents on newly repaired Third Mainland Bridge Road worries the federal government. You know what they say, when you pray for the rain, you have to be prepared for the mud as well. I've been driving through the road for a week now, and I mean, the road is good, so you expect that Nigerians would drive faster on the road, and with that, they're going over the speed limit rules, and it's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
I remember initially when the road was recommissioned, there was a lot of talk about a speed limit of 80, I believe.
Yeah, there are cameras. They have about four or five cameras watching people, making sure that no one goes over it. But trust me, I still see people go about 120, 140 over. And,
it's a scary thought.
It is scary.
But the lighting is definitely better. The road is smoother, which is sort of encouraging the.
Yes, it is. It is really encouraging.
Speeding at this point.
Yes.
But hopefully, the authorities, since it is being taken note of, the authorities are going to be a bit more active on this camera thing.
Absolutely.
Because the speeding can be scary for people who are trying to maintain the speed limit. Let's see what we have on the cover of The Guardian now. Now, The Guardian newspaper has this headline. It says, Labour begins nationwide strike, cites empty promises by governors. And what else do we have here? Okay, we have Atiku Zulum head Northern opposition against tax bills ahead of NAS debate. It says here, I never knew Gowon saved me from Abacha. Obasanjo says here, page 3 has more on that. On 2027, Splinter APC group moves to register with INEC. Guardian shines at Dame 2024, wins highest in individual categories. Government mum as poly lecturers begin strike today. And it also says here, to name contractors that disappeared with MDAs, that's 167 billion naira, Serap tells Tinubu. And do we have any other headlines here? I think there's one more. Judiciary graft abuse of power, diminish public confidence, AGF says, with more on page 5. Now, the photo story here is one of the president of Angola and, of course, the chief executive of Dangote Industries, Aiko Dangote, during an investment meeting of building cement factories in Luanda, Angola. That seems interesting. It's going to spark a lot of conversation, especially online. Or what do you think?
Yeah, to be honest, if there is any of the headlines here that really just sparked my interest, it's I never knew Gowon saved me from Abacha, Obasanjo. I think I was just listening to my parents talk about it some days back, and you're just talking about what happened with Gowon and Obasanjo and Abacha, and it's really just an interesting story over there with what has happened, way before I was born, or around the time of Abacha, thereabouts. So yes, it's an interesting story. I think this is,
I'm definitely going to be, following up with that. But there are a lot of aspects of history that haven't really been, discussed over time, except for history majors in tertiary institutions. We would like to hope that even from secondary school level, the history of, especially the leadership of Nigeria, can be given a little bit more of a spotlight. And you never know. They say you can't know where you're going unless you know where you're coming from. So hopefully the future leadership
I think another aspect that I'm just hoping sometime in the future is we get movies that try to depict things that have happened in history. They help the younger generation understand certain things that have happened in the past, and then take those things into the future as well. So yes, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to see an Abacha movie, by the way.
Wow, wow, that's a big one. Whoever embarks on that particular journey, woo, that's a story. That will have to be a series.
Yeah, it's a series
with a few seasons.
Yes, like Narcos.
Goodness me.
Exactly.
You know what? At this point, we're going to leave it to you to give your thoughts, comments, contributions on social media. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and tag us WakeUpNigeria TVCE. That's how we wrap it up on the headlines in the dailies. Thank you, Edgar, for joining me this morning.